job seekers. Oh yes, that's a point. Yeah, I've got to tell you before we start, before I say anything, that because a couple of people can't make it, they've asked if we can record it. So hopefully everyone's okay with that. But if not, please let us know. Despite the pandemic, we've created many opportunities to promote construction as a career of choice, which Dawn will update you on today. And also today is your opportunity to provide feedback you might have on the future direction of the project. So many thanks for your ongoing support. But we will have met us all, I'm sure. You'll all know Dawn, the project manager, who will have spoken to you. Most of you might have met Rosie, who is the Skills and Business Manager for Exeter City Council. I'm Matthew. I'm the chair of the group and also the commercial director at Apex Scaffolding in Exeter. And Jenny, who joined us probably what, year ago? Has it been a year?
Yeah, February 21.
Excellent, lovely. Who's the project coordinator as well. And so Jenny and Dawn will be doing most of the speaking today, luckily, so you haven't got to listen to me droning on, which is nice. So this is the agenda. We've got the project update from Dawn and Jenny. I'll give you a brief feedback on the Construction Skills Summit, which was held in November and was a pretty interesting morning, certainly opened our eyes a bit. We'll look at the project priorities for 2022 and 2023. And then we've got a couple of guest speakers as well. We've got Lisa and Lloyd, who will provide us with an update on what they're doing and the projects that they've got, which will provide you with opportunities and also how you can help them as well. So yeah, thank you, Dawn. Off you go.
Lovely, thanks Matt, and hello everyone. I'm sorry we couldn't be together in person. We did try, but we will do our best with the virtual environment today. The one thing I do enjoy most about the project is being able to get together in person and share ideas and network with you all, but hopefully we'll have an event in March, April time when conditions allow. So the project, as Matt said, was set up 3 years ago. And we've been busy in partnership with you, delivering some great outcomes for the sector. And thank you all very much for your support, because it really is a partnership and everything we do is in collaboration with you. It's just Jenny and I on the day-to-day, and we really appreciate all your support in delivering the activity. In addition to our project partners, so you're all on the call today, I'd like to really thank our steering group. We meet every 6 to 8 weeks, and really the group are fantastic to help guide the project, the strategic direction of the project, and input on ideas for the future and the work that we're doing. So many thanks to everyone on there, particularly to Matt, who's chaired many a steering group now, and also to Phil from BAM, who's our vice chair and is a great support to the project. So today I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of what the project's been delivering in the past year. And as Matt said, despite the pandemic, we have been really busy and hopefully helping to inspire the future workforce and hit targets on our goals. So it will be really quick, and there'll be an opportunity to answer questions at the end. And I'm going to start off with going through our 3 main goals, and this has been our area of focus since the project started, and we'll go through each one of them. Jenny and I will give you an update of the activity that we've delivered in partnership with you. So first, of course, is inspiring the future workforce, which is so important, and we have a really strong school engagement programme. And we meet regularly with schools, either through the Careers Hub and the Careers Lead, but also we've built some really strong relationships with all the secondary schools now in Exeter, Teignbridge and East Devon, which are the local authorities engaged in the project. And we've developed lots of resources for them. So there's a dedicated page on the website that houses all this information in one place. And with you, we support their careers activities. So going into school, helping at their careers events, talks, whatever they request from us. We have the Education Hub, Construction Training Directory, and during the pandemic, we've created lots of videos to help inspire their students to consider a career in construction. So the Education Hub, since it literally went live, and this wasn't planned, but just before the pandemic, and since then it's had over 850 users, and it contains loads of really engaging activities and information to help people who are considering a career in construction and finding out more what the industry offers. And it's broken down by age, and there's also a dedicated section on there for parents and teachers, and all brings together in one place all the really useful information from Go Construct and from our partners and our own resources. So as I mentioned, we couldn't get into schools during the pandemic, but we still wanted to work closely with them. So we went on site at St Sidwell's Point. We videoed a lot of the people who've been involved in the design and the build, and filmed them. And those videos sit on our website, and they're also on our YouTube channel. And the main one, which is an overarching film taking you through the journey of the build for St Sidwell's Point, has been viewed over 425 times. Other videos we created, Carl Rimmer, I'm sure you know if you're a Chiefs fan, has gone from rugby player to building surveyor. So he kindly filmed some footage that we could use at schools and was available for virtual chats with their pupils as well. Thanks to all our partners, to BAM, SDS, T Clark, who featured in our careers video for the Nightingale, which again was sent to schools. And all these videos, even though they were developed due to the pandemic, they sit on our website and our YouTube channel, and they can be shared and viewed by anyone interested in careers in construction. There was a number of virtual events we attended. The Which Way Careers Fair, we teamed up with Building Plymouth and some of our partners in April last year, and also for the Southwest STEM Fest. Of course, virtual work experience and activities were critical during the pandemic. Speakers for Schools did a fantastic job rolling out a program, and with our partners, we were able to reach a lot of schools and deliver some activities and engage them in careers in construction. And I'm just putting up this slide quickly because we do work really closely with the Careers Hub. They're a fantastic bunch of people, and they're really supportive and share the work that we do. But I thought it was worth mentioning here that they, during the pandemic, they believed that we went above and beyond to ensure that construction was promoted in schools, probably more so than any other sector. So that's a great feedback from them. Now, National Apprenticeship Week was last February and is fast approaching again. Obviously, really important entry route into the sector. And as part of that, we featured case studies of young people working in your organisations, young and old, as apprentices, case studies, videos on our YouTube channel, and also information to help the supply chain take on an apprentice, signposting them to people who could help them and explaining the initiatives available to them. There was also a virtual expo, which again, we attended with Building Plymouth to reach young people. And that really concludes the section on inspiring the future workforce. So I'm going to hand over to Jenny, who'll take you through our next key area of focus, which of course is supporting employers. Jenny joined us, as Matt mentioned, in February last year, and she's been a fantastic asset to the project. Jenny uses her graphic design skills to help create all the marketing materials that you will have seen, but also her organisational skills in terms of planning all our school engagement programmes and coordinating the activity of the project. So many thanks for your help, Jenny, and I'm going to hand over to you.
Thanks, Dawn. That was a very glowing reference. Thank you very much. Okay, hello everybody. Some of you know me. I'm not sure if you've all met me yet, but yeah, my name's Jenny. First of all, I'm going to look at the Construction Training Directory. We launched this in May last year, and it provides information on 258 courses in construction and the built environment. They connect directly to training providers, and the aim is to make it as easy as possible for employers to find apprenticeships or trainees or courses to upskill their workforce, and of course also for individuals looking for courses in their local area. It's constantly being updated, and we have new courses being added all the time. Next slide, thank you. The Construction Job Shop. that promotes opportunities across the region and connects job seekers to vacancies for employment, training or work experience. The vacancies are promoted online and with a telephone service, and since August 2021 we've been able to offer face-to-face appointments being cited at Exeter Works. As a result of this, we've been able to connect 30 people to local training courses, several of which have gone on to find a position in the industry. In September 2021, Exeter City Council were finally able to open the doors of the Corn Exchange, and we welcomed employers from many sectors. Building Greater Exeter was there to promote careers in construction and the built environment, and we were there with RGB recruitment. In March last year, we teamed up with Building Plymouth to host a virtual event aimed at service leavers considering a transition into a career in construction and the built environment. This event included presentations from service leavers currently working at Morgan Sindall and Midas Construction. And we worked on a joint initiative in partnership with Job Centre Plus and PGL Training to help those currently unemployed to access jobs in construction. And finally, the Southern Construction Framework. Dawn attended this event and promote apprenticeships to the supply chain. There you are. Thank you very much, Dawn.
Thanks, Jenny, and thanks for your hard work on the construction training directory. I think you'd only been in the job a month or so, and you single-handedly pulled all that together and designed all the information sheets that appear on there. So that's a fantastic job and a great asset.
Thank you.
So employment and skills plans. So we work with the planning teams and all the local authorities engaged in the project. We've met with them all now. And what we hope to do was embed in the planning policy that it was mandatory to have an employment and skills plan on all major developments. It isn't quite as straightforward as that, but we do have an opportunity with the local plans that they're working on at the moment to ensure that happens in the future. But we continue to work with the planning teams, and they're great at connecting us to all the developers as they go through planning, and then we can work with them. And we've already helped a number of companies to set up and then to deliver their employment and skills plans if they need their help, and we'll continue to do that. So quickly then on to marketing communications. How have we been keeping everyone up to date? Well, during the pandemic, obviously communication was key, and we started our industry updates, which pulled together any information that was relevant for the industry and also shared updates from the project and from our partners. Hopefully on our website, you've seen our partners opportunity page. Rather than send out lots of emails with lots of content, I know you're all really busy and you don't have time to read them. We send out quick emails which have links to all the information, and then more information is then listed on the page on the website. So every time there's new updates, we add them on there. Our website, of course, is the call to action in all our marketing activity. And last year alone, we had over 6,000 users, and 48% of these were from the youth market. And the most popular pages on our website are the Education Hub, the Construction Training Directory, and also the Job Shop. You might have noticed some new images throughout this presentation and on our latest marketing materials. Big thank you to Morgan Sindall. We went on site with them and their supply chain, who were very welcoming, and we created some great shots. We will struggle to find good images in our marketing, and we went on, as you can see, we had a lovely sunny day up at the Harrison building at the university, so many thanks to them. If any of you are working on projects in the local area, we are always looking for new images, so please let us know and we will come and take some photos of you and the team. Our social media, our followers are growing all the time. You can see the figures up there, and we use those channels to promote all our latest news and up-to-date information. I've whizzed through all of this. Well, project review gives you more information. Jenny worked hard pulling that together at the end of the last year. It's on our website and it's been distributed to you, and contains more detail on everything I've covered today. Does anyone have any questions at this stage? Okay, well, move on then to future plans.
Sorry, I didn't unmute quick enough, Dawn. Lisa put her hand up, sorry.
Go for it, Lisa.
Sorry, I didn't use the raise hand. I felt like that was quite formal. I'm used to just interrupting. So thank you. It was a quick question really on this year's National Apprenticeship Week and what you guys are doing and how we can support, if at all.
Fantastic. That leads very nicely into my next slide. So I shall answer that question for you. So that was a recap of what the activity we delivered last year. This year, we are running an initiative for primary school children. And we haven't done anything with primary schools to date, but we have a great opportunity with the Brick by Brick exhibition that's taking place at RAM this summer. Now, some of you may remember it was due to go live in 2020 and then of course had to be postponed. It is now happening this summer, and we, with the support of our partners from the project, originally CITB were going to fund this project. Obviously their funding has changed, so we wanted to reach as many schools as possible, and so we've got funds from the Building Greater Exeter project, but also supported by everyone you can see on the screen there. So many thanks to you, because this has allowed us to buy Lego blocks that are going to 30 primary schools in the Greater Exeter area. They are then going to design and build in Lego a building that they would like to see in Exeter's future, because the Brick by Brick exhibition is an exhibition of buildings in Exeter's history, throughout history, and they've all been built in Lego. And the winning entries to the competition, they've all got to have a sustainable angle. The bricks that are being delivered, a really comprehensive set of Lego blocks worth over £300 per kit, have sustainable blocks in them. They'll have a video explaining the best way of using the bricks and creating their builds, and then they'll be able to keep the 30 who apply, it's a first come first served, will be able to keep those blocks after the competition and use them for educational purposes, or maybe to start a construction club at their individual school. And the top 3 designs of the models will actually feature in the exhibition itself. We announced the competition to primary schools last year, and we had a few very excited responses. So we look forward to that going live. Lisa, to answer your question, National Apprenticeship Week is the 17th to the 13th of Feb. We would love to promote apprentices in your business. Please send us through any case studies, please any video you have, or maybe you'd like to film yourselves chatting to your apprentice in your organisation about what they love about their job, why they chose that route into the sector, and we will then of course promote them all to schools. Last term, we shared with schools a rundown of key events that we could support them for, and National Apprenticeship is obviously a really key one for us. There's a show, it's not actually during the week, it's going to be at Sandy Park. We are teaming up with Building Plymouth, Build Torbay, which some of you may not know formed last year, and also Shared Apprenticeships to have a stand there. If you have any if you have any apprentices within your organisation, we would love for them to join us on the stand. I know they have in the past. The event used to take place up at West Point. It's just moved a little bit down the road to Sandy Park. It is in-person event. It's a hybrid event, and schools can also attend virtually as well as in person. So a little bit closer to the date, we will be asking if you have anyone who could join us at this event. Now, the youth campaign, and this is something that I'm really excited about. I think during my time in the project, I've realised that one of the biggest barriers to young people joining the sector is a misconception about what careers in construction offer. So we're working currently on a digital campaign. We've appointed a marketing agency. They're working on the script at the moment, and this will be launched in National Careers Week in March. And it'll feature young people from your organisations in the sector, and the messaging will be the variety of roles that are available in construction, the rewards that it offers, and how it is the second highest paying industry after finance, also promoting digital, green, sustainable careers, and of course diversity, and that it is an industry for all. So as that progresses, we will of course share it with you. If you do have any young shining stars in your organisation who you think would be great to feature in the campaign, please do get in touch if you haven't already, and let me know. As I mentioned, we'll be launching it National Careers Week, which is in March this year. We're also working on an activity that we can run at Exeter Works to promote careers in construction. Now, in addition to the school activity we already deliver, and that is supported by you in terms of attending their events, we've also secured Marie Coyd, who hopefully is on the call today. And Marie is a fantastic ambassador for the construction sector, working at Devon Construction Training. Marie, through us, we're connecting her to all the career leads at all the secondary schools. And Marie is going to go in and provide an overarching presentation about careers in construction. But each time she'll be joined by a young person in construction who can share their journey into the sector and what they love about their role. So if you have any young people who could join Marie and go into schools, we'd love to hear from you, and we can connect them to Marie. So they won't be going in on their own. We can give them presentation support if they need it. They'll be joined with Marie, who'll go in, and I think that's the response from schools so far, and from the Careers Hub has said this is fantastic. This is just what schools are looking for at the moment. They've obviously been, haven't been able to have employers in, but as restrictions start to ease, they're really, really keen to get as many people into schools as they can. And then finally, we're having requests for schools for July time for work experience. So if you do have that opportunity within your business, please do get in touch and we can connect you to a young person who'd be interested. And then finally, with Building Plymouth and Build Torbay, we're going to run an initiative across the Southwest for schools. So it's identical to Open Doors in that we open sites in our area, but just for schools to come along. So there's a week we've highlighted there. We were going to do it during National Careers Week, but because of the continued number of COVID cases, we've moved it out now to May. So if you have a site in the area that you'd like to encourage school children to come and visit, then please do make a note of that date, and we will of course be in touch closer to the time. Does anyone have any questions? Lisa, did that answer your question around National Apprenticeship Week?
Yes, thanks for that, Dawn. We'll send you over some bits, and actually we'll be definitely happy to help if you need any assistance at the Sandy Park event as well. We
certainly will, so thank you. Did anyone else have any questions around that activity? Okay, I'm going to hand back to Matt now, who's going to give you an update of the Skills Gap Summit. We organise this as a joint initiative again with Building Plymouth and Build Torbay. We all sit on a LEP construction skills group that also includes Building Cornwall and representatives from Somerset and other areas. And the purpose of all coming together is not only to share the knowledge that we have, but ensure we can work on projects together across the Southwest that really benefit the sector. And the Skills Gap Summit was, we've attended obviously events together and organised events, but this was really bringing the sector together to share their skills, their demand for skills and their skills gaps. So over to you, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So yeah, as Dawn said, the Skills Gap Summit was held, and we had 49 representatives from construction sectors, main contractors, engineering consultants, supply chain and housing contractors all took part. The purpose of the summit was to identify the key areas of skills needs and opportunity for the future of construction and the built environment sector, to understand the skills demand to fill jobs today and the future, including net zero, digital and MMC. So to do that, we broke out into breakout rooms, obviously, because that's what you break out into. We had consultants, subcontractors and main contractors. I have to say the subcontractors room was a little bit quiet because I was the only subcontractor who could make the call. Despite 15 signing up, I think that shows that with the way things are in the industry at the moment, subcontractors, SMEs haven't got the time to give up 3.5 hours in the middle of the day to sit and listen to other people telling them kind of how they've got to recruit. I think they need help. They don't need to be lectured at. but there we go. That was just my personal opinion. Those of you in the steering group meeting afterwards will have seen what my own conclusions were of that. So we asked 4 questions. These were sent out beforehand. Question 1, what are the biggest skills challenges or skills risk facing your business in the sector? Question 2, to respond to these skills challenges and risks, we need to understand your demand for construction skills, training and employment. That was split into 12 months, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 years. Question 3, working on behalf of the local and regional construction industry, what should the 2022 priorities for the building family be to support your construction skills, training and employment demand? This includes net zero digital and MMC skills. And question 4, as an employer within the industry, what additional measures or initiatives are you putting in place to combat the current and future skills shortage? From that, we've got pages and pages and pages of responses, which is really good. I think Dawn, Emma and Building Torbay are going to sit down, and we've got a few next steps. I think the big takeouts for me, again, apart from the subcontractors things, is that everybody is facing a shortage. It doesn't matter what part of the industry you're in, we are going to be in trouble in a few years' time if we don't address this. The perception of the industry is unappealing to young people, and that is not only as most people consider a job in construction still to be digging holes in the ground, getting cold and muddy, but also if you come into the industry as an apprentice, you're earning less than if you spend your days stacking shelves in the local Aldi. And with the way young people often are now very immediately focused, then you know, they're not going to look at the fact they could be earning £4 or £5 an hour more in 3-4 years time when the apprenticeships happen. They want to be earning the big money now. I say big money, but you know, that's the way they look at it. And I think that's something which we really need to look at as an industry. The other problem as well, which I know I spoke about with somebody the other day, is that it's all very well having work experience and apprenticeships, but the trouble is most main contractors won't allow young people who are doing work experience or apprenticeships onto their site unless they've got hundreds of pounds worth of PPE, a week's worth of training and 60 quid's worth of card to get on site. And if you want to do work experience for a couple of days, that's an awful lot of investment for somebody who isn't going to take a job, or is going to then decide, no, that's far too much like hard work. I want to go and stack shelves. I want to go and ride a bike delivering burgers to people. So those are my responses. Dawn, I think you've got a slide now with the next steps.
I have, thanks, Matt. And as you say, we're pulling together now an executive summary of the skills, the key skills gaps, and then we're going to meet with all the local and regional training providers to share the findings with them, and then align our careers messaging. Now, as you say, I think that we were going to align our careers messaging to highlight the areas of the most demand, but I mean, there's demand in every area. So we'll keep, you know, through the activity and with our youth campaign, ensure that we're promoting the different opportunities, and then of course take this information to help align future programs and boot camps, etc. Did anyone have any questions? I can't see the chat, but I can see there's some messages in the chat. Is Jenny?
Yeah, so Lloyd's asking if we can share the responses, which I'm pretty sure we can. I think that will come out of the report.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're working on one now. We've captured everything, and we're happy to share all of those notes. But we're putting as you say, Matt, it's quite a beast of a document. So we're now just trying to refine it for the key outcomes and findings.
Yeah, I think what it did was identify we've got even more problems than we thought we had beforehand.
Challenges, yes.
Oh yeah, challenges. Sorry, not problems.
Challenges.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit grumpy today. So moving on for the next one, because otherwise I'll still continue to be accused of being grumpy. The project partner priorities for 2022 and 2023. So Building Greater Exeter has only got a finite amount of resources, and we're certainly worried about mission creep. We get asked to do a lot of things, and we haven't got, I say we, Dawn, Jenny, and all the volunteers have not got enough time to be able to do everything. So we discussed it at the steering group meeting, and we sent out a survey. So thank you to those of you who filled in the survey. And I think Dawn can now tell you what we feel the priorities are. And certainly this is a chance to be able, if you've got anything which you want to add and you think should be a priority, this is the time to be able to share it.
Yes, thanks, Matt. And, you know, part of being a project partner of Building Greater Exeter is your opportunity to help with the strategic direction and input into your feedback into the project to help us shape it. A very busy slide here. As Matt said, we had a good discussion at our steering group, and since then we've circulated a survey to all our project partners. This is a summary of the feedback that we have received, and we want to open this session. We've got plenty of time now to discuss with you. Are these the priorities that you believe are right for the sector, but also for your own individual organisation? Is there anything there that we've missed? And is there anything there you think should be a particular priority? So I'll leave you to digest, and then please raise your hand and let's open a good discussion on the subject. Lisa, do you want to chip in?
I'll kick us off and then I'll be quiet, I promise. I think it's really difficult to, as you say, sort of try and focus and highlight some of the really key objectives for the next year or two. But I guess priorities have got to be focused somewhere, haven't they? So it's hard. I agree with all the ones that the partners have fed back to already. One thing I don't see is MMC. So I don't know unless that's coming under the sort of digital or green skills aspect, but it's something that is for a lot of local authorities. As you know, we work with quite a few up and down the west of England as well. And it's really high on the agenda. I know, Dawn, we've spoken about it. We've been doing a lot of investigative work in terms of the skills that are required for MMC. So when we talk about skills, I think we need to make sure that's across the built environment, because what we're doing at the minute is we are at risk, although the acceleration of MMC is fantastic in terms of what it can offer environmentally and, you know, solving the housing crisis, or at least trying to. The one thing that it does do is it displaces the traditional construction supply chain. So we just need to make sure that we're sort of thinking about that when we think about the skills piece. So perhaps, maybe just highlighting the MMC that's coming down the track or down the motorway on the back of a lorry pretty quick.
Great, thanks, Lisa. And does anyone else have any thoughts on MMC? Because it isn't, you know, something that we've discussed at any detail. Does anyone else have any feedback from what they're seeing in that area?
For my purposes, and as always, I can never understand all the acronyms. What does MNC stand for, please?
Modern methods of construction.
Thank you.
And,
so there's like 7 categories, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how to raise my hand. It's Josh here. I just kind of want to reiterate my point for what Lisa said, that it's something that we are focusing on as a company. We've got more and more demand, you know, to be ensuring net zero, and there is going to be a skill shortage of all of these kind of roles for fitting solar panels and all of these types of things, a lot of them that I don't understand, but I know that there's going to be a huge need for that, and it's something that we are looking at. As many of you may be aware, we have on-site skills academies, and we are looking to kind of adapt the training to meet those needs. So it's something that's definitely at the forefront for us as well moving forward.
It's great to see Vistry kind of highlighting that as well, Josh, so thank you. I don't know if some of you are aware, but we've got a project, so YTKO, we've got a project in the west of England, Combined Authority, which is actually delivering those skills competencies for traditional construction SMEs in and around modern methods of construction. So if anybody sort of does want any more information, I won't take up the time here, but we've done lots of work, not just in that region, but nationally, We've got Moby, who, for those of you that don't know, is George Clark's charity arm in terms of education for young people and in the built environment. So we're doing lots and lots of work around that. So it'd be good just to have maybe some people around the table that have been doing some of that lessons learning in those areas. So Dawn, if you wanted to pick up on that, I'm more than happy to put you in touch with some of the people that have already kind of established those competencies and that skills and that framework as to what that looks like in MMC.
Fantastic, thank you.
Dawn, we have Emma and Lloyd both have their hands up wanting to speak.
Great, who was first? Lloyd, I think I saw you ping up.
Yeah, it's just a really quick one. And when we talk about modern methods of construction and green skills and retrofit, there is going to be, in theory, quite a lot of money coming down the road to train people in green skills and retrofit. You know, with the Social Prosperity Fund coming off the back of the Community Renewal Fund, and I think we, as not just as Greater Exeter, but as the whole of the Southwest, really, but I'll just keep it to Devon, need to decide how we want to use that money, because otherwise, you know, a lot of businesses I speak to at the moment are saying, yeah, great, green skills retrofit, I don't need them yet. And there will be a skills shortage, I get that, but it's not there now. So we're going to potentially train all these people for jobs that are going to come down the line eventually, but they're not there right now. It's a chicken and egg situation, isn't it? It's the people won't start doing that kind of work until they've got the people, but they won't employ the people until they've got the work. So I think there needs to be a plan to how do we start feeding the green skills and retrofit money, training, whatever that comes through into what we're doing. It's a big ask, I appreciate that.
No, thanks, Lloyd. That's exactly what this group can do, and especially with the LEP group and with Building Plymouth and Build Torbay as well. You know, the whole building family can get on board in this. And as we know, the volume is being turned up in retrofit all the time. And as you say, there's lots out there, but how are we going to make it and connect it so it all aligns at the same time? So when these jobs are ready, we've got the skilled labour ready to go.
And Emma?
Oh yeah, so I just sort of wanted to jump in. So I guess as a bit of a background in case people haven't met me, I work for the University of Exeter looking after the Civil Engineering Degree Apprenticeship Programme, and the sort of wider directorate that I sit in as part of the university is business facing, and there has sort of been increasing talk and increasing interest from the university in CPD, continual professional development, and also exec ed, executive education. And I'm wondering whether there's an opportunity here to shape what sort of courses we're going to be offering and tap into what we already do, because so in case you're not aware about different courses the university offers, we've got a renewable energy department down on the Penryn campus. So again, sort of forgive me, I'm not a civil engineer by trade, so I'm not sort of sure what comes along with fitting solar panels, but I know that in renewable energy, they do a lot on solar panels and different methods of energy generation. And then we do also have quite a large civil engineering department here. So I guess I'm just sort of wondering if there's a connection to be made there, and sort of using, you know, the university's strategy to sort of tie in to industry need and starting those conversations early so that we can sort of tie everything in. So, you know, I think as Lloyd was saying, whenever the gap's going to appear, we're ready to plug it.
Great, thanks, Emma. And you know, in that, I completely agree with what you're saying there, and aligning with what's done already, because we don't want to all be starting and doing different things when actually there's a lot of great learning out there. And we also know there's you know, particularly around retrofit, for example, there's lots of local authorities doing it really well, and so it's how we can learn from them and take the best practice and implement it in the work that we're doing. So it's all about sharing, and there's lots of groups now being set up to hopefully share and progress it. But that's really good feedback, and I made a note of that. Thank you. Did anyone else? Was there anything in the chat, Jenny, or did anyone else have anything they'd like to add to the list?
No, there's nothing in the chat, and I can't see any more hands up. So I think you can probably move forward if you want to.
this is sort of we're doing well on time, actually. I thought we'd do short of time. I mean, this is the main crux of the meeting today. So really, is there anyone, you know, who hasn't had an opportunity? And you can still fill out the survey if you'd like to. It's on the project partner page on our website. But are there any organisations who haven't said anything yet? Does this meet the needs of your organisation as well as the sector? Is there anyone else who's on the call who'd like to chip in? You don't have to raise your hand, just come off mute.
It's me again, sorry. I still don't know how to raise your hand on
Zoom. Don't worry, just jump in.
After all these years in the pandemic, how do I not know how to raise my hand on Zoom? Yeah, it was just another quick one just to really to thank Jenny for, I know when I sent the survey back, the school engagement is just been really helpful for us. And I think that kind of links in nicely to changing the perceptions for women. I know that we're going to be supporting an event at a girls' school recently, and we've got 2 females from the company to kind of promote that. So that's something. And I know that many of you may know Charlotte Olver, and she would be really pro women in construction. So she'd like to say for me to say that. So yeah, that's something that we found really useful, and we're looking forward to kind of continuing that school engagement.
Oh, great. Thanks, Josh. That's good to hear. And I think, you know, since I've been in the project, we've really started to build those relationships, and people just now can ping us a quick email. Oh, can you help support this event? And Jenny goes out. We've got a fabulous group of people who help respond to school requests. If you're not on that mailing list, please let Jenny know and we can add you. And I think because we're reliable and we can turn up and just deliver some great presentations, and you know, for the teachers as well, changing their perceptions about what a career in construction offers, as well as parents, is just as important as the students as well. So it's great to have those opportunities with the schools, and I'm glad you appreciate them too. Thank you.
Dawn, there's a message here from Lisa to say they're talking to FE providers and delivering CPD in MMC shortly. So happy to talk about that. And that's great. It looks like Emma's already interested in having a chat with Lisa. So brilliant. Perfect. That's perfect.
And that's what this project is about, is really signposting people, connecting people, just helping everybody, you know, get to the place they need to be to support the sector. Anything else then on that list? Is there anything that we've missed? Is there anything that shouldn't be on there? I mean, if you're, you know, as our project partners, if you're comfortable that we are still going down the right track and that is the way forward, then we'll work on that for developing our plans in conjunction with our steering group for 22-23.
Dawn, I got a really quick one for Josh. Josh, going into that girls' school, we've got a girls in STEM session set up. We've been doing it in quite a lot of schools, and I'd be happy to. We did it with Kia before, and I'd be happy to do it with Vistry if it's something that you and Charlotte want to get involved in as well. Just drop me an email, let me know. Absolutely,
that would be great. Yeah, if you could just pop over some information, and we'd absolutely like to get involved with that. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Danielle. And is there anyone here from the steering group who wants to add anything to the discussion today? All very quiet. Okay, well, we'll move on then. And Lisa is going to now give us an update. We've got plenty of time, so that's great.
Don't tell me that.
It was going to be a quick update at the on, but we've gone through the agenda quicker. And Lisa from Building Growth Southwest and our project partner YTKO, obviously we've worked closely on a number of initiatives, and the one you're working on now is to help SMEs around their digital skills. So I'll hand over to you, Lisa.
Thank you. I have a terrible habit of talking far too much, which you've already seen. So I will try my best to keep it short and sweet, but if I do go over a topic, just give me a nudge or just tell me to get off. For most of you, I think you're aware the Building Growth Southwest brand, but I'll take it back a little bit just to provide the linkage from YTKO, who is the parent company. It's who I work for. And YTKO, they have sort of over 40 years experience of facilitating growth with clients' businesses. So whether that's increasing productivity, revenue, market share, all of that sort of stuff. And they were formed well back in the 80s and specialise in that enterprise and employment support. We've got quite a rich history in the West of England Combined Authority area. So it's been really quite prudent there, and it's sort of spread. So we're down in the depths of Cornwall. We've got offices in Plymouth, also in Exeter, Bristol, Cambridge and Peterborough, so far and wide. And we basically bid for pockets of money to be able to deliver what we're really good at in terms of that enterprise and startup business support. So what we're doing here under the Building Growth umbrella, the Building Growth Southwest is a brand, if you like, that YTKO form all of their construction programs under. And I manage the construction programs for YTKO, which is actually, sorry about that, yeah, it's been going for a couple of years now. So this is YTKO's branch, if you like, for the construction sector sort of focused skills and employment support. So as we know, construction does have the lowest level. Well, I don't know if you know, actually, I say, as you know, because I reel this stat out all the time and it's quite shocking. But construction has the lowest level of digital and management skills competency for any sector, well, except agriculture. So you can understand why such a digital enablement program came about. Construction is dominated by SMEs, micro businesses and sole traders, and the industry is actually made up of 95% of those micro businesses and sole traders. So you can see why there is further support that's needed for the supply chain with their digital enablement. And we think by focusing on this sector, we're aiming to address really what barriers are preventing that investment into construction training, but also what lessons can be learned about digital training in general and how we can transpose those across other hard to reach areas. Because although our offering is focusing on construction, we do know that there are a number of micro businesses, small businesses that also struggle to access things due to their sort of digital receptiveness, perhaps. So with regards, oh, that's me, by the way. So we move on to the next slide. The Building Growth Southwest project is supporting the construction skills and employment landscape. So we do have the digital enablement for SMEs, which we refer to as DESME. We have quite a lot of acronyms, so I do apologise. It's just the government give us such long titles for everything, and it's really hard to get them in the right order sometimes. But Building Growth Southwest, we're funded by the EU on this particular project, and it is running until September 2023. So those funds are still kicking around, they've been committed to. So we've got this project for digital enablement right the way up until September 2023. And we've got some partners with us who are supporting the delivery of this project. So I think on the next slide, we should be able to see, there we go. So we've got some familiar logos there, the Digital Skills Partnership. So we're doing some amazing work right across the heart of the Southwest, LEP there as well. And we're also partnered with Cosmic, who, as we know, they're a bit of a social enterprise that offer digital skills across a wide range of organisations. So we've paired with those to be able to, a small and mighty consortium, if you like, to provide this collaborative approach around those 5 basic digital skills for construction SMEs. So on the next slide, you can see there's the 5 basic digital skills, but they're for people that potentially have got those lowest levels of digital competencies. We're kind of not pitching it right. It's a huge language barrier. And as Matt rightly pointed out, our subbies are extremely time poor. So when we're trying to pitch things to them, that is going to be a relevance, even if they wanted to come to it, which most of the stuff out there, they don't, they don't have the time to do it. So we've been doing a trial of blended demand generation as a result of this project to see what works, what lands, what doesn't work, what turns them off completely to any element of training. And the first thing was the language barrier. So when we're talking about managing their information, it's making it really digestible, making sure they understand what that means. So, GDPR, are they compliant, all of these things. If you go straight in with that, they're going to go, oh my God, this is scary. I'm probably not. So I don't want to know how bad I am. I'm just going to leave it. So the idea is that we can sort of do a bit of hand holding and walk them through those things that they don't know, that they really do need to know. So these are the 5 key areas that we've highlighted as a part of this bid. And it's useful to note that 42% of SMEs don't actually have the 5 basic digital skills, which is why this project has been formed. And I think the biggest key here is understanding the value of digital skills. So a lot of construction SMEs, because they've got the security of the future pipeline already, they kind of go, well, I'm doing all right, so why do I need to take on further training? I haven't got the time to do the jobs that I've already committed to send out the invoices that I'm quoting for. So how, you know, why do I need to do better? I'm already doing pretty good. So the idea is highlighting to them the value is giving them the gift of time back by streamlining some of their processes, giving a bit of a deeper dive into what they use, how we can expand on their knowledge of the platforms that they use. This really enables them to give them some time back, whether that's to upskill themselves or their business, or whether it's to do something quite simply that they've just not been able to do in a really long time. You know, the issues of running a business are pretty crazy when you're flat out and you don't necessarily have the resources that you need to do that effectively. So really we're focusing on the most in need employers within this programme, and we are seeking to support this sort of, it's currently a top-down investment, but we're building that from the sort of the bottom tiers of the supply chain up to really match what the government are doing. So on to the next slide. How can you all help? What do I want? Why am I talking to you? Well, quite frankly, we need to raise awareness of this project. I genuinely believe that there's some really good material here that we want to make sure that we're delivering this in a format that is accessible to construction SMEs. That's our biggest ambition for this project, is not to be another thing where we go, here's your Zoom link, dial in, you've got no digital skills, but we'll catch you on the Zoom link, it's fine. They probably never opened a laptop. And I'm not generalizing here. This has come from recent feedback from the people that we've engaged with currently that are taking over potentially their dad's business, and they're worried, quite frankly, about how they can manage the processes that are in place because they've always been on their tools. So we really needed to dial down that level of support in terms of engaging with them. So if you know a main contractor, helping us to arrange site visits and access to carry out some really short bite-sized introductions. We don't do death by PowerPoint except for meetings like these, but it really is about engaging with them so that they can see what is available without overwhelming them. I think that's the biggest thing. And a really big thanks to Vistry. Vistry have allowed us access to site to deliver lunchtime workshops, breakfast workshops. So we've managed to be able to form and confirm what we kind of suspected, I guess, really with this industry. So introductions to site visits, site contacts is the biggest thing for us. We'll do all the hard work. We just need an in, and that's it. We'll bring the bacon buddies, whatever really works, to be quite honest with you, whatever gets them talking or listening, sat there long enough. And also raising awareness of some events that we've got coming up. So signing up, if basically you have a company or a construction company with under 250 employees and you're based across Devon, you can sign up to receive that sort of tailor-made training plan that will be delivered to you in that preferred format, whether that could be on site over some toolbox talk sessions, obviously with the approval of the site teams, or whether that is delivered in, you know, a more of a mutual setting. It really isn't a problem. We've tailored this really to suit everybody. We have two key events, one in Exeter and one in Plymouth. Now, these workshop events are quite simply to highlight the platforms that we're existing under. So we've got a number of things that are being built as a result to help complement the delivery of this training. So anybody that you think could be interested, come along. It's really that simple. The big hook, which I haven't put on here, and I probably should lead with this, is that we have got quite a big bit of the lion's share of the CRF funding within Devon. So very quickly, I believe it should already be running, but we only have 6 months to deliver that. And the idea is that this is almost like the introduction, like the gateway, if you like, to a lot of that support. So we will be talking about the CRF funding that is available to Devon-based businesses, and that's amazing because we're offering a grant model, which is basically gifting cash. Obviously, there are eligibility and all of that requirement that goes with it, but it is to go to those construction companies that genuinely need some support, and it could be around software licensing, it could be around materials, it could be around tools. That's what that cash is going to go towards. It's not around, you know, giving you stuff that you're not going to use, or people's time that you think, I don't know if I need it, but I'll take it. So yeah, the CRF funding will be launched at those two particular workshops as well. So that's site visits, any contacts you've got, and really if you could just highlight sign-ups for those two events, We've got really big capacity. The Exeter one is at the Devon Hotel. It's on a Tuesday, 3 till 6. So we're trying to keep it as close to the end of the day as possible. The Plymouth one is also same time frame, but it's at the Plymouth Cricket Club, I believe. So anybody interested in more information, I'll circulate this to Dawn, and then maybe Dawn, you'll be able to share for me. But yeah, that's kind of it. Sorry, I've whittled on far too long, chucked a lot of information at you. But if anyone has any questions, then yeah, let me know.
Fantastic, thanks Lisa. And I think just the knock-on benefit from this activity with the rest of the sector will be fantastic. So if you can please help Lisa with her request there. Does anyone have any questions for Lisa at this stage? All right, well, thank you very much, and we will certainly share your details with everyone on the call today. We're now going to hand over to Lloyd Meredith Chapman, who is responsible for construction and green skills at Devon County Council, who is also working on an initiative that he hopes you can support. So over to you, Lloyd.
Thanks, Dawn, appreciate it. So Dawn's already done my introduction, which is great. I'm working on a few projects across Devon at the moment, mostly kind of around construction and green skills, fortunately, being in my job title. But the one that I want to talk to you all about today is New Futures. So we have a real opportunity with some funding from the Learning and Work Institute to basically offer training to individuals that were displaced because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the focus from the Learning and Work Institute is that these individuals should either be unemployed or should have lost their job and then just gone into anything to kind of earn a bit more, earn some money again, but that's not the area they want to be in. And there also needs to be a strong focus through the project on supporting those individuals to work out what they want to do through information, advice and guidance. So basically, if I can just pop to the next slide, it shows you a nice little journey through. So we have to engage with 1,600 individuals across Devon. The good thing about the Learning and Work Institute money is it doesn't have to be Devon specific, but so we can branch into Plymouth, we can go a little bit into the borders of Cornwall or Somerset or wherever we kind of need to go, wherever the kind of interest is. But we then have to take 800 of those original 1,600 and offer them some sort of information, advice and guidance, which is likely to be through the National Career Service, and also provide to a large number of those people some form of mentoring. So support them to find out what they want to do, and then either apply for jobs or just build a bit of confidence, or we can then offer them some training in either construction or retrofit. So if their information, advice and guidance identifies that they're suitable for construction, we will then put on training that's suitable to their needs, but also to employer needs. And that's kind of why I'm here today, which I'll get onto in a minute. We can offer entry level things, CSCS cards, employability skills for those that need it, but also going up to kind of level 1, level 2 qualifications in the next 18 months. With the idea that these individuals will then go into some form of job training program, work experience, whatever really, ideally a job, but the initial pilot, we're working with Teen Housing. So the Housing Association are going to identify some of their residents that are keen to kind of get into the construction world, take that journey and then potentially re-employ them themselves. So they have Templar Housing work with Teen Housing to do a lot of their renovations and builds and work. So hopefully there'll be some employment through that. But we're also looking for businesses, for construction companies to come to us and say, you know what, in the next 18 months, I could tell you that we're going to need people trained in banksmen, people with abrasive wheels, we're going to need carpenters, electricians, we're going to need, people that are trained in photovoltaics and stuff like that. And we can, in theory, put on training courses that suit that. So if someone came to me and said, in October, we're starting a build and I'm going to need 2 carpenters, we can put on some training for individuals that we've identified in carpentry and then deliver them out the other side. Hopefully to then kind of get jobs. They may also go into some of our sector-based work academy programs. They might go into things like Kickstart. They might decide, you know, done one of our courses, they want to go off and do a level 3, or they want to go off and do an apprenticeship, or they want to go off and do something else, some further training or education, and that's absolutely fine as well. But they will continue to be mentored through that process too, so that we can fully support them in a job as well. So if they've been employed by someone and they have a bit of a wobble, that mentor should be there to help them stay on track. So if I can go to the next slide, I'll explain kind of what I'm here for. You know, as I said, we're going to potentially be rolling out 240 individuals over the next 18 months. And what we want is for those individuals to go into jobs. So we want them to be trained in what employers need them to be trained in. I mean, I could take a stab in the dark at things, and also having spoken to a few people, and from what Matt said, just some people trained in construction in general would be handy right now. But I want to make sure that that we can fill some specific gaps, especially around retrofit. And that's why I was talking earlier about, you know, there's going to be money in retrofit, and we need to ensure that we're training people in the right things. You know, it's all well and good training 40 people in heat pumps if that's just a fad that's going to, you know, die out in 6-7 months, and actually that's not the way forward. Things like internal or external wall insulation, perhaps if that's useful, then we can train people in things like that. But that's not the only ask from me. No, I don't just want to speak to employers. I don't just want employers to come to me to say, well, we've got jobs. I also want employers to be able to offer these people opportunities like work experience, site visits. You know, I can offer employers to come in on the last day of training and meet these people and almost kind of interview them then and there and decide whether that's the kind of person they want to come and work for them, to offer them some sort of work experience, even if that ends up being through, you know, I know full well how the construction industry works. You know, a lot of people employ through agencies, and if, you know, if a constructor says to me, look, we use this agency, can they come along? Absolutely. If that's how it works, that's fine with me. And if they want to come and meet these people on the training courses, that's great as far as I'm concerned, because it shows these individuals that there are employers out there that are interested in them. So those are my kind of asks. I want to talk to people that want to tell me when they have requirements. I want to talk to people that want people on work experience, that want to come and meet learners and people that are new to the industry and have the time to do so. I appreciate that. So that we can kind of work together and make sure that these people aren't just left high and dry, and that you're not left with people, that we can fill those kind of skills gaps that you've got as well. So that's me in a nutshell. It's a bit of a whistle-stop tour. But if anyone either wants to ask questions or wants to get in contact, my email address is there. And I would, as I said, that's part of the reason, Matt, that I was asking for that feedback, because it will give me a really good insight into what we're missing, what can I deliver that's going to be useful.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's, yeah, it will dovetail quite nicely, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Danielle, I think you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I've got a quick question. So we've got a job in Oakhampton for Devon County Council, actually. And we've been working with our agency in that area to find anyone, essentially, cleaners, labourers, gatemen, forklift drivers. And we've really struggled in Oakhampton. So obviously we want to stick with local people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be really good to have a chat actually and see whether we can kind of work with you on that and work experience. We're going to have lots of trades up there. You know, who are always happy to help with work experience. So if you have people that are generally interested in certain trades, you know, we're more than happy to offer that work experience. And unlike Matt said, we do work experience without CSCS cards. We do provide PPE. So we're more than happy if you have got people that want to kind of undertake some work experience on a building site. We'd be happy to help with that.
Obviously touched the nerve there. Sorry.
Matt, you really did.
But also the Learning Work Institute are quite keen to ensure individuals actually have what they need to do the job. So there is some discussion around being able to provide them with some tools and PPE. That's still a bit early doors conversation, but potentially there might be some funding for that.
Yeah, and to be fair, as part of the projects that we do, if we have people working on site that we've kind of worked with along the way, we're happy to provide, you know, pay for CSCS cards, pay for PPE. As a business, we're happy to kind of to do that. So again, that's something we can talk about as well.
Fab.
Lloyd, we also have Lisa has her hand up too.
Yes. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lloyd. I think you met with Phil Stott from YTK as well.
I did,
So
yeah, last
apologies
week.
if he's already said this, but we're just planning a North Devon event really for the CRF launch. In terms of engaging with those businesses that will be eligible, but also that could tie in Danielle as well with potentially getting a few of those local construction companies out of the woodwork if there's a bit of sort of cash in it for them to get some more materials, some more tools, that kind of stuff. So it'd be good, perhaps, Lloyd, to pick your brains to make sure that we're not offering the same thing, but it's in added value, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And Phil talked about potentially weaving in some sort of mentoring. You guys have got some bids around mentoring that we could feed into what we're doing as well, because that's what we haven't nailed down. I talked about mentoring. I didn't go into too much detail, purely because I've not nailed down how that's going to work yet. So yeah, I think it'd be worth us having a chat, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Anyone else for me? Otherwise, I'll hand back, and I think we're back to time.
Great, thanks, Lloyd. And that is such a fantastic initiative to get local people employed in the sector. So we look forward to working with you on that, and certainly the LEP Construction Skills Group with the other building family as well, and helping to deliver it. And
Great.
as Lloyd's details on there, if you would like to get in touch with Lloyd. Any further questions on anything that's been discussed today, or is there anything that we haven't covered that anyone would like to add?
Emma did say in the chat that she has a request, but thinks it's part of any other business. So whether you want to discuss it now.
No, please do. Emma, please ask away.
So I have an apprentice who's in the 3rd year of our 5-year apprenticeship programme, who's currently looking for a job role. He's got quite a lot of experience in industry, and he's looking for something at sort of site manager level. So it's just a bit of an ask to see if anyone knows a business, or if their business themselves is looking for someone at that level who's sort of also doing apprenticeship work as well. Just get in touch with me, and it would be greatly appreciated, because he's a very, very good student, which is why I've sort of brought this opportunity to hire a really good worker to this meeting.
Great, thanks, Emma. And what we'll do is, as a follow-up from this meeting, share Lisa's details, Lloyd's, and yourself, your details, and then if anyone can help, they can get in touch with you directly. So thank you. Was there anything else from anyone?
There's nothing else in the chat, Dawn, and I can't see any more hands raised.
Over to you then, Matt.
Lovely. Well, I mean, that concludes our project partners, which is great. Thank you very much for attending. Those steering group members, if you could hang on for a bit, I guess. We're
going to reconvene at 11:10 with the steering group, so everyone's got half an hour.
Lovely.
But yeah,
excellent.
I'll echo Matt's thanks for everyone who's attended today, and just for your continued support and input into the project. If anyone still wants to complete a survey, please get in contact with me. As I say, it's available on the project partner opportunities page on our website. But otherwise, thank you all very much for your time today, and for those in the steering group, we'll see you at 11:10.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Jenny,
hold on, hold on. We've got another hand. Who's that?
No, it's Lisa waving.
Oh, is it Lisa waving? Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough.
And Lisa will catch up very soon.
Lovely. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.